Hi, this is Kelly. Welcome to my channel. Still celebrating halfway to Halloween. I'm using this grapevine wreath form and pine cone flowers. Now I got this wreath form thrifting, but you can find them in the hobby store. And I have a tutorial on how to make the pine cone flowers. A card should be popping up, and the link to that will also be in the description. So I'm just kind of placing them where I think I want them to go, and then it turns out they don't go there. But that's pretty like that too. You can go in so many different directions. This black eucalyptus here I got from Amazon. Another link I'll have for you. And you just kind of, there's no rhyme or reason. You just place it here and there in the same direction as the wreath flows. And a little glue and stick it in there. And you'll see I also, on a couple pieces of that eucalyptus, I put it in the wreath and then glue it after. Once you find it the right spot, if you can get your glue down in there, don't take it back out, because you might not get it in that same spot exactly again. So whatever works best for you, whatever works best for the actual situation with the, you put it in there and you're like, well, that looks good, and I don't want to mess with it. And I can get my glue gun in there. That's, actually the best way to do it if you can. Don't commit till you know it's in the right spot. So, I'm just continuing to add this eucalyptus all the way around. I really appreciate you being here with me today. If you would, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up and a subscribe. I'm just starting out with my YouTube channel here, and I could really use your help. So if you're enjoying this content, please consider helping me out there. I want to keep bringing you this content, and I enjoy doing it so much. And you can, as you see, you can bend it and shape it a little bit, each piece of that eucalyptus. So I'm going to continue to add the eucalyptus, and then we'll come back and do the flowers. Okay, here we go. These little black flowers also came from Amazon, and you'll see I also end up using some orange. They're the same thing, they're orange. And it turns out so pretty. But again, Amazon, I'll have the link for that as well. And same thing as the eucalyptus, you just find the places it needs filled in and just start adding it. And there's no, recipe for it. It's just, where does it need it? You just have to kind of feel your way around it. But yes, I definitely am a Halloween fanatic. So I had to do some halfway to Halloween videos. First starting out, I'm like, yeah, that's where I'm going to start. So my son's always making fun of me. Stop wishing summer away. You want it to be Halloween. So, and you see there I have some small pieces cut as well. And what I'm getting ready to do here is, you see too much stem of that flower, so I take one of the smaller pieces and put in front of that to cover up the stem and fill it out a little bit. So, got my next piece here. A little glue. And it's not like you're really going to mess it up, you can't put too many flowers on something, really. I don't think. I guess you could, but you're just filling it in with beautiful things. It's hard to go wrong. So I'm going to finish filling this in with the black. And we'll be back with some black and some orange. There we go. So I just did the same thing. I went around with the black, and then once I went around with the black, I came back around with the orange. Give it a little pop of color. And I've got my pine cone flowers here, and this is another thing where you kind of have to place them where they're going to fit, and they have to be, you have to be able to make contact between the flower and the wreath to glue it in place. And you want your glue, if you have a dual temp, you want it on high, you want it hot, so be careful, don't get it on your fingers. You want it to be hot, and you want to use a pretty generous amount. You don't want it blobbing everywhere, squeezing out all over the place, but you want to cover the underside of that flower with the glue. And see, we just placing where I want to put them. And I have purple and orange and white flowers, and they are detailed with a little dry brush of some black chalk paint on the edges. There we go. Quite a bit of glue on there. And another thing with the high temperature glue, you have to hold it in place for a while. I edited out the length of time I was holding it in place, so make sure you hold it long enough where it doesn't, you know, come loose while you're trying to get it on there. So now we're gonna get this purple one in place here. And I'm sorry I'm off screen putting the glue on, but when I come back, you'll see how much glue. See this? Oop, I went back to add a little more. But basically, the underside, the area of the underside that you want to glue to it, just make sure it's completely covered with glue. Okay. So now I've only shown these flat round flowers, but I have some smaller top of the pine cone flowers that I end up using to fill in where the wreath is still showing underneath. So I'm just putting these larger flowers where the wreath is showing. It's really starting to look like something now. When I got done with this, I wasn't sure what I was going to end up with when I started, and I was thinking Halloween, but I didn't want it to be so Halloween that it had to be Halloween. And I'm like, I'm hanging this one on my wall. It really turned out pretty. I'm really happy with it. But you could use any florals and any colors on the flowers, you know, and it doesn't have to be anything to do with Halloween. Do pastels for spring if you want. You can do a fall theme, and but I just, the purple and orange, it's just the Halloween colors, and I'm like, oh, that's Halloween every day, which I love. Now on the left of my screen there, you see those little you see a little pumpkin and those table scatter decorations. I had those out, and they're in a ribbon too. I thought I might use this, and didn't use any of that stuff. Because once I put the pinecone flowers on it, it didn't need anything else. And again, this is the type of thing where you kind of go with it, and you go with what looks right. So your plan isn't necessarily what ends up happening, and that's the joy in this. I think I was so surprised at what it ended up with. And so I was sitting here placing some flowers kind of outward where the end, so like the back side of it's gonna look goofy, but we don't care about the back side of it, because you have to glue it to these twigs. So you just basically have to try to be precise with your glue gun, and they will adhere to those sticks like nobody's business. So as long as you take your time and get the hot glue where it's going to connect with the bottom of the flower, and you don't use too much on that. I know I was talking about I put a lot of hot glue on it to actually do the wreath, but when you get it on the outside there's only so much glue, there's only so much area you can put glue on, so you just have to use your discretion, and you don't have to put the flowers on the outside. It looks pretty with them just on the inside, on the ring. So you see there, I'm carefully putting a little glue on the twigs, make sure it's touching the flower where the glue is. There we go. And again, you gotta hold it. Oh, it stayed in place. that one off. Phew. This was such a fun one to do because I was just surprised at around every corner at how beautiful it was turning out. I just love it. I just love it. It's very pretty. Yeah, the pinecone flowers, it's a bit labor intensive to get them cleaned up and to look like flowers, and then of course you gotta paint them. But it's so worth it. There's different pine cones, and you have different shapes and sizes, and you just come up with these incredible looking flowers. And there you see I have the small ones I made out of the tips of the pine cones. Just fill in any of these spaces. Now you can also get some moss or some more of the black and orange flowers to fill that in if you want to. It is kind of like a jigsaw puzzle. You have to find what fits. I actually had to go back and paint a couple more flowers during the process. I was running out of flowers. I mean, luckily I had some made, but I didn't have them painted in these colors. So here, oh, there you see how much glue I'm putting on. There we go. And basically you just keep adding to it until you're happy with it. You stop when you want. But yeah, I was like, a bow? I'm not putting a bow on this. It doesn't need... You can't really see the rib, but it's a really pretty, like a sheer black with a orange coppery color edge on it. It's really pretty, but I didn't need it, so yep. We got another hole showing. We can't have that. You can also see where the wreath is held together with some kind of twine they have wrapped around there, so we want to cover that up. And here we have it. Oh, it turned out so beautiful. Thank you for being here with me today. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed this one. I love how it turned out. Let me know in the comments what you think. And if you're going to try this, I'd love to know. And please, please, please give me that thumbs up and consider subscribing. It would really help me out. Have a good one. Bye.